Hi everyone, welcome to BetaBooks. Today I'm going to give you a quick overview of what BetaBooks is and how easy it is to use. So BetaBooks is a tool for sharing your beta stage manuscripts with other readers and getting their feedback all organized in one place. So when you first create your account, you're going to land on a dashboard. It's going to look something like this, and the first thing you're going to want to do is create your first book. So I've gone ahead and pre-filled in some fields here. I'm going to give my book a title, a description, and some feedback guidance. And there's also some settings I can choose for how notifications work and stuff. I'm going to just leave those on the defaults for now. So there we go. I'll create my first book. Then I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to copy the text here for a chapter. So just copy. And over here, I'm going to add my first chapter. I'm going to call this On the Arizona Hills. And here I can give a little bit of a summary. This is mostly for my own benefit. I can also give some guidance at the beginning of the chapter. I can give some guidance at the end of the chapter. And then I can just go ahead and paste my text in right there. And it's that simple. And so no matter what word processor you have, copy and paste your chapters in and click create. And there you go. So then if I want to see what it's going to look like to my readers, I can just jump over here and view this chapter in the reader. And there it is. There's my text all nicely formatted, and it works on phones and tablets, everything just great. Now, obviously, if I want to have people read this, I need to send them an invitation. So I'm going to jump over to my book table of contents view, and I've got some book settings and stuff I can control over here. And you see one of these tabs is invitations. So I can go in here, and I can type in reader at example.com, and it looks like readers already signed up for BetaBooks, so I see there's an account right there. But if this wasn't created already, or if there wasn't someone with this email address, I would just get the same exact thing to invite them, and it would send them an email notification and a link to accept the invitation. So I'm going to go ahead and invite example reader here. Now I can switch. I've got the other reader loaded up in a different tab here, and I can see here that Andrew Tesser has invited you to read A Princess of Mars. So awesome. I'm going to go ahead and accept that invitation. And now this is the view that the readers are going to get. So the readers can see the critique guidance you've given them. They can see the table of contents. There's only one chapter in there right now. They can decide whether or not they want to receive email notifications about this book. And when they're done, they can give a rating for the book and leave some final review feedback. But for now, we're going to assume I need to start by reading the actual chapter. So I can jump over here. I can read it. Again, this works on all kinds of devices. I can switch to night mode if it's dark out and I don't want to have so much light in my eyes. And then I can finally give my feedback. And that's it. Now as the author, I'm going to get a notification, unless I've turned that option off, that I was given some feedback. It'll show me what the feedback is, and I can go back and take a look at it. And if I switch back to the author's view here, then I can go to my table of contents. I can go check on this particular chapter, jump down and see this feedback. And this is great. And if I decide I want to follow up on this feedback, I can mark it. I could say I want to ignore this feedback. I can say I want to consider it, or I can say it's something I need to do, or I can just mark this feedback as done. So in this case, I don't really have to mark it at all, but because I think this was great feedback and I want to feel good about it, I'm going to just say done. And I can also send a little note back to the person who gave me the feedback. And there you go. Now, as you can imagine, this gets a little bit more involved as you have more and more readers come through. So I'm going to switch to a real book that I've actually done a beta on, and this is what it looks like. You see there's a lot more chapters in here. And here I can actually track readers, so I can keep track of who's read what version of what chapter, and see kind of chapter by chapter how far people have gotten into the book, at what point did they quit reading. And I can also jump into my overall feedback. So instead of looking at it at the chapter by chapter level, I can see all my feedback across all the chapters and all the versions, all in this one screen. And here I can filter, and for instance, I can just say, well, let's see, I only want to see feedback that I marked as consider, and let's see, I only want to see feedback from Chris, and I really only want to see feedback on chapter 4. And there it is. And with that, I can even narrow it down further. I can say, okay, I want to see feedback from all of my chapters and all of my readers, but I only want to see feedback that mentions my protagonist, Jack. And so there we go. I've got a bunch of hits here, comments that people made that talk about the protagonist, Jack. So that's basically it. That's the idea. It's really easy. It's the best way to keep your feedback organized and have a wonderful and productive beta. So glad you're checking it out, and I hope you enjoy the site.